What's happening, y'all? It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, back with another one-on-one with the supervillain. We've been doing these for so long, so y'all know what these are. I love doing these. I love when this time comes around to get to talk to everybody, to catch up, because a lot can change in 30 days in 2020. Like, whole worlds can literally change. But I'm back to talk to one of the homies, man. We always have some great conversations. I'm going to see what's happening in the world of wrestling, his life in general. Y'all give it up for Marlon, a.k.a. AZ Badfish. What's happening, bro?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I'm good, man. I'm trying to wake up fully. I'm still a little tired from the day. Was traveling back home, but pushing through. I'm gonna do this with you. Then I'm gonna probably work out for like about an hour or so, and then probably pass out just like I should pass out.
Hell yeah. I heard you talk about being stressed earlier, man. You gotta work that out, I guess.
Well, no, I mean that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. I tried to go home, go to Chicago for the weekend and do that, and then you get text messages that fuck up your whole every time I leave, why send me some bullshit? So I'll just deal with it. Saying had this Focus T25, take my workout, my pre-workout, get my energy on, and I'll be good, man. I'll be good.
Hell yeah. I've been gaining weight, man.
What'd you say?
What's up?
No, you were just saying something?
I was just saying I've been gaining weight. Like
really?
I came off a cut in October, and I've been maybe overdoing it a little bit. So yeah, it's like, well, we'll see what happens. Trying to bulk season for a few months, and then start cutting again, probably in February.
Okay. That's the only thing I hate about going home. When I go home, it's so hard to try to maintain the way I've been eating out here, because Chicago has so much rich, just unhealthy, just good shit. I can get all type of greasy shit nonstop, and I'm like, I catch myself and be like, no, I can't have a Chicago pizza, slice of pizza, or 2 slices every single day. I got to have one, and that's it, and then just drink a bunch of water and everything else.
Right, that's important too. Yeah, I mean, we're in that time of year for me because I got just a few days before Halloween is my wife's birthday, then it's Halloween, then it's my dad's birthday, then our anniversary, then Thanksgiving, then my birthday, then Christmas. So all this stuff in just 2 months, right? And it's there's always cakes and pies and cookies and shit. And I'm about to finish my birthday cake, and I know that in the mail from my mother-in-law is going to be just a package of Christmas cookies and fudge and stuff. So I'm like, all right, That's why I never try to cut through the holidays. I know some people try to do that, but I'm like, it's just
anybody that can do that. I feel like I commend the shit out of them, because you got to have an immense level of self-control. Like Warner Brothers TV sent out Christmas gift boxes, and today they sent out cookie shots and some champagne, and I was like, oh. I was like, do I need this? I was like, you know what? This will sit to the side or whatever. But even when I was back home, I made sure I had a bunch of probiotics I was drinking consistently, drinking a bunch of water, and just trying to stay as close as I could. Because my homegirl, she cooks a lot. And so she was like, I felt like, because she hadn't cooked for nobody. So she was like, I feel like cooking. I was like, cool. I was like, but I ain't going to eat a lot. I want to make sure I got a lot of veggies and it's balanced and all this other crazy shit. Yeah. And she kept looking at me I was like, hey, it is what it is. But shit, I just been, dealing with that. And like I said, trying to keep working out. It was fun because I hadn't seen her in 2 months. And so when I got over there to her house where I stayed, she was like, you got smaller? I was like, yes. Yeah. I was like, that's all the shit I've been doing, working. So I was good with them, man.
You running into somebody that hasn't seen you in a while. I went through such a big transition, because not only did I lose all that weight, but at the same time I got LASIK surgery, so I stopped wearing glasses. I was damn near invisible to people who had known me for a while but just hadn't seen me in 6 months. Yeah. I thought I was great because I just go through the store nobody knows I was there. It was great. I always thought it was funny. I don't want to talk to that person. I hope they don't notice me, and they don't notice me. So I'm like, all right.
That's a full transformation, because it's always weird when you hear about the situation with glasses, how people are like, well, I couldn't tell it wasn't you. But when you add on a whole lot of weight loss and just drastically physically change yourself, that changes a whole lot. So, man.
like in college when I stopped wearing hats and people were like, "Did you get a haircut?" Like, no, I just like I used to always have a hat on, and I just one day just out of nowhere stopped wearing it. People were like, "Did you get a haircut?" Like, nah.
You're like, no, just stop wearing a hat. Like, that's it. Like, I tell people now, like, I've gotten so used. So I only started really wearing the hats when I first started doing the internet shit. Like, I wasn't wearing hats like this. And it just so happened when I started doing, I think I appeared on like, yeah, when I started appearing on screens like or Collider or something, whatever I did, I just was wearing a hat. And I just kept wearing them. And then I was at home at C2E2. I'll never forget the Comic-Con out there. And somebody was like, yo, I knew it was you because of that hat. And I was like, So then it became a habit. Whenever I would go back home, when I would go home, I got to pick up a Chicago hat or two. And so I would always wear the hats now. Now it's just become this thing where I had to stop myself every now and then. I'm like, I don't think I need any more damn hats. I don't want to have like a whole wall full of nothing but baseball caps. I don't need all that. And plus, I only wear them now if I ain't shaved my damn head. Like, that's it. Like,
I'm only wearing this now to keep the hair out of my face, so I'm not constantly messing with it on camera. Like normally, I don't have a hat on.
Dude, I'm like, so I just don't.
It's getting out of control.
I just haven't shaved in a couple of days. So I was like, everybody saw during November when I was trying to grow it all the way out, but then I had to stop. And so I was like, well, people know what it looked like, but for me, I'm like, I don't want to show this shit. So that is it. I was watching some of Raw before we started this.
Yeah, I heard that. I feel I interrupted the show, man. I'm not even watching it. I forgot.
It's one of those things I just wanted to see because I knew they moved the Thunderdome from the Amway Center.
Oh, they moved it now
to because they're at the Rays home because the NBA is back. So the NBA needs the stadiums.
Didn't they get a new place like that? They're just going to be like that's just where they're going to be now.
Well, no, that's why they're using the Rays. That's why they're using the Rays for now. Because the Tampa Bay Rays aren't doing anything. There's no baseball and there's no concerts, so they can just use that. So they're gonna use that as long as needed, and then they'll probably by that time they're expecting. So Vince wants to go back on the road. He really wants to go back. He'll cut down on road shows, but he wants to go back.
Yeah, I thought I heard that. I thought they were thinking about getting rid of the house shows.
That's what it is. Get rid of house shows, but keep Raw on the road. So it's like, but a lot of the talent is like, man, fuck that.
Like this is great. I don't know. I like going to the shows. So I still haven't got to see AEW yet. They never made it to Arizona. They never made it this far west. Well, actually, though they did. They just skipped us.
Yeah, because they were in Utah, I think, right?
Or got close a couple of times, and I was like, "Oh, is this it?" Like, nope, not this one.
Oh shit! Hold on a second. I got an avail check for a fucking voiceover job. Oh shit!
Oh, nice.
To indicate your availability, please click on the link to download sex safe structures. Okay, I'll do this shit later on tonight. It's due by Thursday at 4. Okay, Thursday at 2. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to look. This is that time of year. Me and Winston talk about everything's about to shut down with the industry for the holidays. It normally does anyway, but it's extra shut down with COVID. So it's like if you get something, you're like, oh shit, let me do it. See, I can get that. Yeah, but I was watching. I've been talking with a lot of people about AEW recently because I just didn't know what the hell they were doing. I don't understand some things. Like, again, what is the point of bringing Sting in? That man is 61 years old with a bad fucking neck. Like,
I got nothing for that. I popped really hard though. Because I missed so much wrestling.
Right.
Like we've talked about before. Sting is one of the few that I remember from being a kid. Like I remember seeing him as a kid. It's up in the rafters. Like, where is he? You never know. Where he's be. Like that was my shit when I was a kid. So yeah, I popped pretty hard when he shot because I had no idea at all he was going to be. I don't think anyone.
No one did. I think you know what? I think that was the thing. Nobody knew because again, you thought everybody was under the impression of.
Did Tony know, or was that do you think Shivani knew?
I think Shivani. I think the announcers knew. If they did, I think they knew, or the way Shivani's reaction was, though, Shivani's reaction seems like it might have been legit a surprise.
Like they might have told him, "Hey, something's gonna go down, so make sure you're paying attention.
Just be ready for it." Yeah,
but they didn't tell him who it was because that would be cool. That would be cool if it was as big a surprise.
I mean, they have snuck in talent before the different shows. They sneak in the talent. They never let them know, they never let people know whatever's going to pop up. They'll tell them in the back, yo, something's going to happen. Just be ready for it. Because they know they got professionals on the mic. So they're like, just be ready for whatever's about to happen. And when they do, you get the announcer like, oh my God, what the holy shit? Like,
right. Especially if you're turning the lights off, you maybe want to give them a heads up that it's not like a power outage.
Well, but again,
they probably be able to work through that too.
They work through it, and that's the thing. They work through it, and so it's actually good because they're like, okay, so the power just went out. Like, we don't know why, but it went out, and it's cool because it's like it plays along. Because if they sell it right, everybody else is like, okay, the fuck is going on? Like, I think it was an episode of Raw, and this is when Renee Young was still on the desk on Raw, and the Fiend turned Raw, the whole episode of Raw, into a fucking horror movie. It was a nightmare. Like, he was taking over, he was making the graphics flip backwards. And I remember one time it flipped in the beginning, it flipped, and they were going out, and Renee Young goes, did y'all notice that it was backwards? Like, she had that voice like, did y'all know that it was backwards? Like, they did stuff to shock them on purpose. Because they got the notes and everything. But she was like, because you heard it like it wasn't supposed to be heard, like it was a live mic. Like, you notice that was like, and they knew exactly. Cut it there, boom, go to commercial. I mean, again, it just interests me because it's like I was telling people, like, that Sting is a dope Sting, right? That character, that version of Sting, but that version of Sting is for action. It looks weird trying to have that version of Sting sitting on the sideline like a manager. Like,
yeah, it would like have your manager out there and like it's kind of like that BTE joke where like they're going to the supermarket or whatever and they show up in full gear. You're like, why are you in full gear right now? Like you're on the sideline. I don't know. Maybe he could do something. I don't know that he should.
I don't think he'd do much.
Yeah.
I hope it's where. Go ahead.
Just him being there, like, I could do something. Like, maybe. I don't know. They said a multi-year contract, so they got to have something for him to do.
Terrifying. Like, I don't mind. Okay, let's say this. I don't mind occasionally seeing him give somebody a scorpion death drop. Okay. I probably wouldn't mind occasionally seeing him put somebody in a scorpion death lock. Now, I don't want to see him take no power bombs. I don't want to see him taking chair shot. I don't want to see. I'm terrified.
Keep him away from Sammy Guevara.
Keep him away from man. Listen, Sammy Guevara. There needs to be a list that says Sammy Guevara is never allowed to interact with Sting, no matter how much Sammy Guevara bitches and pitches and complains about it. He is never allowed to be around Sting. Why? Because Sting might die on Dynamite.
Right.
Like,
they could have him like, I don't know exactly what they're doing with Darby. I got thoughts about Darby and some people, but like,
I want to hear your thoughts because I got mine. And
it's just one of them things where like I don't know why you would keep him around, but because I guess I don't know much of the details, but like,
well, you sound like you feel like I do because the thing is. So for me, baby, basically the way I summarize AEW as a whole is it's a giant indie company that made it on the big stage. That's how I look at it. It's an indie company that made it, which is fine. You want to have something that can potentially rival WWE, which we never know. It'll take years for something to really rival it. That's a global entity. But all right, cool. So now you get a bunch of talent that never has had the chance to be on TV to be seen on TV. The problem is, in a sense, some talent just ain't meant for TV.
True. Yeah, I think they definitely got some growing to do, especially with a lot of the people and stuff. But I kind of look at it. AEW is kind of like the best, or it tries to be the best of what I like the most, which is kind of like ridiculous gimmicks and like silly storylines and stuff like that. Whereas like WWE, or at least Vince, keeps trying to be like old school carny about it.
Yeah.
Whereas like AEW is like, no, we know y'all know this is fake, so we're gonna lean into that and be ridiculous with it.
But I think that's the problem. That's a small problem I have. Like, you can
that's
lean
for
into
me.
it.
That's not for you.
No, I get it. No, I get it. But I'm just saying, like, you can lean into it, but the way they go, they lean all the way into it. Case in point, Orange Cassidy. Now, the gimmick for me, for most people who will either never watch wrestling or are wrestlers are like, the fuck? Because the dude can actually wrestle. We've seen it.
Right.
But the gimmick is like, it's so lazy. And then when you watch people play along with it and sell along with it, like, that's sometimes what irks me. Because, like, I've seen people take the kicks. I think it was it Tommy Dreamer who was taking the kicks and selling the shit out of them. And I was like, come on, man.
Come on, selling man. It. The selling it sometimes is a bit much. But, like, they haven't gone full. Like, we haven't seen Chuck E. T's, like, invisible hand grenade yet. Like, I don't think we're ever gonna see that. Like, I think that's a thing for the indies. I think that might be the step too far. I don't know.
Right. But that was like the thing when Cody was doing the open challenge for the TNT title, and they were bringing in a lot of indie guys, but they were bringing in talent that it was gimmicky or people were just raving about on the internet, but couldn't handle the TV pressure, aren't TV ready, if that makes sense. And again, it's not trying to dismiss people. It's just some people think that they're automatically TV ready, and you're not TV ready.
For sure. You know, like I don't. Yeah, I can't argue against that. That there's definitely some matches where, and like honestly though, like this might sound weird, but like the actual wrestling is probably my least favorite part of wrestling. So like unless a match is like really good, I'm like probably not really paying that much attention anyways. Mm-hmm. So I just don't notice it as much as somebody who's like you, who's like paying attention to the wrestling because that's what you do.
Sometimes I try, you know what I try, and that's the thing too. Like I try to stop watching it with that critical eye shit. You know what I'm saying? With that, oh, I'm a wrestler, so it should be these little things. Like I watch it sometimes. I just want to be entertained. Like last week, the whole Randy Orton Bray Wyatt thing with the change into the Fiend, the way they edited it, I was a fan. Cool. I liked it because I was a fan. I was like, I've always was hoping they were going to do that with the gimmick somehow. And the Thunderdome gives them the opportunity to do it because you can't do that shit live. Like the Thunderdome gives them the chance to pre-tape something, insert it, and you never know the difference. But I was like, this is cool. This works. I'm a fan. I love it. You know, and some things I'd be like, God damn it, why did you just do that? What was the point? Like, what did this lead to? And that and shit like that.
Right. Man, I actually haven't been watching WWE. I feel bad. Like 2 weeks ago, for whatever reason, DirecTV stopped carrying my local Fox station. So I haven't been able to watch it on TV. And I'm like, I'll catch it on Hulu. And then I just don't. I don't know why. I think something about not watching it live on TV. I'm not watching
especially when you watch the replay, they edit the fuck. I didn't notice till when I used to do Wrestling Compadres. They edit the shit out those episodes,
especially on Raw, dude.
Yeah, I remember Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd used to be like, "Yo, I didn't know Bobby Roode was even on Raw for several months." I was like, "That's terrible." Like you telling people, like, "Yo, man, check my match out. If you missed it, check it on Raw." And they be like, "Man, I watched all of it on Hulu, and you never showed the fuck up." Like,
oh well, you gotta wait 3 months and catch it on the network. It'll be like what? I don't know. It's crazy too when they edit it because the way that they edit it, like you got to figure. If you're watching it on Hulu, you're probably watching it from the beginning. Like the stuff that they choose to leave in is like the replays from earlier tonight, like that they do like throughout the night. And like, dude, I'm watching it on Hulu. I watched it from the beginning. You don't need to show me a replay that happened 20 minutes ago right now. Like you could have cut that out and gave me, one of these squash matches or whatever that you cut out. Who knows? Or one of these ridiculous segments in between. I don't know why they edit it that way. Probably so that you have to watch it live on the actual TV.
I think that's the goal. Like, all right, if we do just enough, it'll force them to say, I've got to watch it live or try to DVR it if I can still DVR shit or whatever.
Right.
Like, man, this business has been so weird the past several months. Just watching social media has made it the even weirdest because it's like There's always this constant argument of the business changing versus what the business is and what's good for the business, what's killing the business. It's like nothing is killing the business. I hate that argument. I hate people like, yo, it's killing the business. I'm like, nothing's killing pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is good as of right.
Yeah, it's going to be around for a while.
Right. Nothing's stopping pro wrestling. Nothing's killing the business. It's killing the mystique of what pro wrestling was. You know, that whole that, oh my God, how does he do this how did he do this flipping pile driver and that guy just got thrown backwards? Well, the mystique is being killed out of all that now, but not the business itself. People still want to see the shit happen. Like, people still want to see somebody who's 97 pounds to a Canadian destroyer on a 400 pounder. Like, people still want to see shit like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's like the characters, it's just entertainment. But and it's I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right, man. You're right. Like, it is what it is. How's everything been out there in Arizona?
All right, I guess. No, that's not true. We're out of control with COVID, man.
Again?
Dude, it is worse. Like I said last time, they were like, getting about to be as bad as it was in the summer. We're worse now. It's worse. It is worse right now in Arizona than it has ever been. And
I remember in the summer, everybody was like, because people weren't even talking about Florida that much. They were like, yo, Arizona?
That's what's surprising to me, because like I keep every day, so I just look at the headline. I try not to like get too deep into it, but like, I scroll through the headlines and I see like, oh yeah, our numbers haven't been this, but our worst is the worst ever recorded. I'm like, Jesus, that's bad. Nobody's talking about it because nobody's really talking about individual states at all anymore because it's become old news.
Yeah,
it's not. We get it. DeSantis is fucking up. Florida's not good. Arizona, our governor, not doing anything. He's not doing anything, like literally nothing, other than every once in a while he'll come out and be like, "Yeah, you should probably wear a mask." I mean, I'm not going to make you, but you know, I don't even think he's done that in a while. It's
DeSantis out there in Florida was like, fuck everything. We are open. Do whatever you want to do. It is your life. If you die, you die. Like.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what we're doing. Like he, at least our governor is at least has said that masks are good. He's not going to do a mandate, but he has said that, and he's like leaving it up to like local governments to do whatever they want to do. So I think we have a mask mandate in my town right now, but like it's he's not doing anything.
That is.
It's kind of ridiculous.
It's funny because the way people keep complaining about California, more specifically LA, they'd be like, oh, LA's talking about wearing masks, but it has these high numbers. It's like LA has more people than most of your fucking states. Like, stop. Like, I hate when people do that shit. I'm like, your whole fucking state doesn't even have the amount of people. LA has it in just one section. Stop that shit.
That's why percentages are important.
People don't get that. Don't get that at all. Like LA is massive especially, and then there's a difference because then there's Los LA and the Valley, which is LA considered an LA proper, but then there's LA County, which is everything which it is, and LA County is huge. And so when they get these numbers, they're like, well, all of California just ain't like that. It's just a bunch of fucking people here and in San Francisco. That's why when those two cities vote blue, the state goes blue.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what happened here this year, this election, where the big areas went blue, and it was enough to turn the whole state.
Oh, I did Game Time earlier today before we recorded this with Roku.
Oh, yeah, I watched it.
So you saw when they were talking about I was crying laughing when I was watching the whole thing with the electoral counts. I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Because I don't know if you saw the tweet I put out. I said, I know Donald Trump's cocaine dealer is happy because he's finna get a phone call. It's finna change his life tonight.
It's like, sorry, bro. Turns out we lost.
Like, how many times? I think the bad part is, how many more times did you have to lose? Like, I
don't think he's done yet.
I don't. He's not done. See, here's the problem. He knows what he's doing. Didn't
he at one point say something like they're gonna have to drag me out of here? Like, I really hope he lives up to that.
I do, dude. I swear to God, I would pay if they did it on a pay-per-view. I'd buy it. I would buy. I don't buy pay-per-views for shit. I would buy the pay-per-view removal of Donald Trump. How much is it? $67. Here's my credit card.
All right, here we go.
I would buy the fuck because somebody played a clip of him. They asked him. They said, if Joe Biden beats you in the Electoral College, he was like, "Yeah, I'll leave the office." And somebody was like, "So today's that day."
Yeah, who's making that phone call? I wonder. He probably saw it. I mean, he's on Twitter all day, anyways.
Parler. I got banned from Parler, which is hilarious.
How do you get banned from Parler?
I was trolling on a whole nother level.
Yeah, but I thought they were all about like,
yeah,
like you can say whatever you want.
I thought so too. On a whole nother level, because I wanted to see how many heads were exploding. Because this was their last, they was like, well, you know what? If the electors ain't gonna vote for them, it's gonna come down to the electors. And all of the electors was like, you're not gonna put me in this shit.
Yeah, they told me I'm just going with the people, man. Sorry,
I just go, they tell me what I gotta do, what I'm supposed to do. I'm just going with this shit. Because everybody was like, oh, well, they can try to change their vote. I was like, you do realize every state has backup electors on standby just in case somebody tries to pull that shit.
I feel like if there was ever going to happen, like this would be the time it probably would have happened, but also one of the worst times to do it.
This would have said that, you know how everybody kept talking that bullshit about a civil war and all this other shit?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That would have did it. Because also, if they didn't do it in 2016 when this motherfucker won, when everybody was like, please don't let him be the president. I remember that tweet. Everybody was like, people were writing sympathy cards to electors like, I don't know who you are, but please don't do this. Don't do this. If they didn't change it then, they wouldn't change it now. And I just was like, oh God, I just want to see the pay-per-view when I just want to see the attorney.
I do want to see it, yeah.
Oh, I want to see he's dragged out or when the first arrest is handed down. Oh, I just want to see him in handcuffs because it's going to have. Oh God. Oh, it's gonna be like Christmas twice. Like
is it my birthday?
Because it's gonna be on replay non-stop.
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy that one on Blu-ray when it comes.
Speaking of shit that's gonna come out on Blu-ray, so. This fucking Snyder remake of a movie. I just saw this shit about a couple minutes ago that he put out. Yeah, my thing, my R-rated, and Batman says the F-bomb. I said, is that literally what you're selling this on now?
Yeah, I'm not into that. I mean, I don't care. Like, it might be fine. Like, I'm excited about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. I know you are right.
I'm excited about it. Like, I don't, but I'm like. I remember I still have not watched Titans. It's on HBO Max now. I still haven't watched it just because the Batman thing really turned me on. And it was just the trailer or whatever. I never watched a minute of it. I just remember seeing that going, I don't like that. I don't think this is for me. So like,
and that's what I was like when he said it, I was like, that's already been done. Like that, the Batman thing, like, yeah, Batman himself said, but again, you're trying to, I think it's like, I'm past the whole. It's a whole new movie because everybody knows it's a whole new movie. We got established. It's not a cut. It's a brand new movie.
Yeah,
like everybody's like, no, it's the Snyder cut. That is not a cut anymore. When you start bringing people in and filming new scenes, that's not a cut. That's a new movie.
That's $70 million budget for your cut.
Yeah, right. That's a movie. My thing is this now. It's like you're trying to capitalize on the popularity of R-rated superhero movies just to try to sell this more. And in some cases, some just don't need to be R-rated. Like you can't just keep slapping them on shit to be slapping them on shit.
Yeah, I didn't. I even kind of thought like some of the stuff in Logan, like there's probably too many F-bombs in that. And like I get they were trying to make like Xavier be, got dementia or whatever, but like or going senile. But I'm like, I'd still just him dropping the F-bomb like every 5 minutes is just weird to me. I didn't like it. It kept taking me out of the movie. Yeah, it wasn't needed. Like because you needed the R rating for you. He could say the F word and he can be fucking tearing people up. That's what we pay the R rating for that movie for. With this movie, I
Right.
don't. Sure. All right. Like,
See,
maybe, what are you gonna do?
like we knew, for those who knew the old man, we paid to see Wolverine call everybody motherfuckers and just start slashing people.
Right.
That's what we wanted. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
then, like, Patrick Stewart dropped like 3 too many, and I was like, I don't need this. Ooh.
Yeah, it just took me out of it just enough to where I still, don't get me wrong, I still love the movie. But I'm just like, it wasn't necessary. So I'm like, it's probably not going to be necessary here either.
I felt like Birds of Prey didn't need to be R-rated. And I I'm one of the very few that might have liked Birds of Prey, but it didn't need to be R-rated.
Yeah, I did enjoy that movie. I'm with you on that. Like, but then I think about like Zack Snyder and the stuff that he has done. Like, it's mostly R-rated stuff. That's like,
but that's
like hyper realistic violence is kind of where the R rating comes from a lot of time. So like maybe like that, I might be down to see Batman really fuck some people up. But like I don't know. I don't. Yeah, if it's like full of F, like he says the F word, if that's like what you're selling it on, I'm like, maybe you should not.
Or if it's one of those, if the worst thing he could do, and I think this is any director, and this is not even just Zack Snyder, is because you've made this big deal about him saying it, is it when he says it, it's something where the camera's like right up on him, like I don't give a fuck, like something like that. And then it's so stupid. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be out of it immediately. I'll probably start laughing like that.
But you get what I'm saying, right? Where it's something where you're trying to stress it on, like, yo, let him say it, like, let him say it and be done. Don't make it where, like, even in Venom, where they say it, fuck it. Like, he just says it and goes. Like, there's no stress behind it. Even
well, Venom's PG-13, even, right? Like, that's
no, it was PG-13. No, Venom is R. Let me make sure. I think Venom was.
I don't actually know. I fucking don't remember.
Let me see. Venom. Let me see. Was Venom rated R? Venom rated. I think it was R.
It might have been. I don't remember.
It was PG-13.
Oh shit! Yes.
PG-13 because you get one F-bomb with PG-13.
Right. Yeah. It's I thought they used it well.
I mean, but again, it wasn't one of those super stressed out. It wasn't one of those super stressed, we got to put the camera on it, make this big ass point about it type thing. Right. It wasn't that.
It was just there. Yeah.
It was there. I feel like he's going to do that I swear in my heart, I feel like because he told everybody, he should have never said, he could have said the movie was R-rated. He could have just said the movie was R-rated. That's it.
Well, you should have just done. It's coming out HBO Max. Like, just not rated. It's not rated. It's not rated. This movie is not rated. This is the unrated edition from the 90s. Like every DVD came out was unrated.
Unrated cut. You were like, oh my god. You're like, what am I about to see? I love now how HBO Max, mainly Warner Media, was like, fuck. So we just said we finna announce all these movies. Shit. Fuck. So listen, your free week trial, that shit don't happen no more. That's over. It's dead. I mean, they knew they had to get rid of it. Once they started saying they were going to drop every movie.
I was pretty sure they were going to get rid of that when they announced Wonder Woman was coming out. Because I'm like, there's no way that they're going to let people just have Wonder Woman
and sit up for free and watch it, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty sure it was going then, but then when they announced everything else, like that's a move. All right.
When with the Snyder thing, at first they were like, we're doing it over 4 weeks. And I was like, yeah, that's to try to get people to get new subscribers. But then you have some people who just keep creating fake emails and therefore having a new week and then another week. And then they're like, no. You got to buy this. I was like, well, that's how you get some money.
I mean, it's not that. I don't actually know. I feel bad saying it. I don't actually know how much it is. I got so many automatic payments, it kind of doesn't matter. But isn't it like $9 a month? Like 9, 10?
I think like 14.
Like 14? Yeah, that sounds about right.
But what you're getting out of it, I think that's the thing too. People, when people start complaining about prices of certain things, it's like you got to look at what you're getting out of it.
Yeah, like I've said before, I really like HBO Max because I never had HBO or DC Universe, so like this all is new to me.
Yeah.
So I find myself going there before anywhere else, almost like even before Netflix. Now I'm like, what have I missed over here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
They got so many old school shit. They got so much old school shit you might want to watch again. Like again, the whole Fresh Prince of Bel Air library for those who want to watch it is there. There's things like that there you want to watch. You're like, oh, I can watch this now. And again, you getting all these. You about to get blockbuster movies that because of a pandemic, you're gonna have access to them there. That's worth it. But that's just like when Disney Plus said during their investor meeting, we're gonna probably go up like $1 or $2. But they told it was dope because again, it's an investor meeting, so it really wasn't for you or me. Like unless you own stock, it ain't for us, But everybody was like, "Oh, this is for us." It's like, no, this is not for you. Like they're like, "Oh, we're investors because we got Disney Plus." No, they're not talking to you. They talking to one woman from Bank of America. Like they're not talking to you. Like they're talking to people who got. They're not talking about just because you bought Disney. They talking about people who put hundreds of millions of dollars into this company. When they told, they were like, "Yeah, we dropping all of this shit." So yeah, and this ain't just Marvel. This is Disney, Star Wars, Pixar. This is everything, and we're gonna go up $2. And everybody was like, "Well, shit, that's it." Like, because you can't argue it.
I mean, I'm already locked. I think I bought the 3-year thing when they very first announced it or whatever. It was available for like a month, that deal or something. Where it was like you buy for 3 years. I think it was. I don't even remember. Like $150. So it's like $50 for each year.
Yeah.
Something. But so I'm already in. They've already got my money, and I'm definitely going to be renewing.
They finna get their money worth out of you.
But same with HBO Max, which is why I don't understand from a business decision why HBO is going to be releasing all that stuff, or Warner Brothers is releasing all that stuff next year. Like if they for the whole year and they committed to the whole year, that's just it doesn't seem like a good idea.
The rumor is they got wind of what Disney was about to drop. And they thought they were going to get the jump on them. That was the rumor. They got wind of what Disney
misunderstood, because I think it's funny. Like I've been kind of losing my mind the last few days because nobody's talking about this that I've seen. But like everybody, when HBO and Warner Brothers made their announcement, was like, "Oh my God, this is the end of theaters. This is the end of theaters. It's over. It's over. Everybody fucking panic." But then Disney comes out and is like, "Hey, not only are we releasing all this stuff on HBO Max, all of our movies are theaters only." When they came out and said that, I guess not all of them, but like all of the ones you expect, they are going to be coming to theaters. Nobody's like, "Oh, just kidding, theaters are saved." Like, where's the what is why? Like,
I can answer that.
That's dumb. I think it's like.
It's the thing I've been saying for the longest. People, you got to remember, the majority of people that keep freaking out talking about some theaters are going to die act like everybody that goes to the movies are cinephiles, and they're not.
Right.
Cinephiles are a very small percentage of moviegoers. So it's just cinephiles who like, I have to be in a theater, and there's something about this experience that I have to have it, and blah, 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 and everyone just should experience it. It's like, okay, I understand that love of cinema and art you have, but everybody that's a moviegoer doesn't think that way. And also, there's no such thing as theaters ever dying. Theaters come back all the time that play old movies. You know what I'm saying? All the time to just play nothing but classic movies. So theaters will never die. Chains don't die. They get bought by other chains and rebranded.
There'll be a different word out front, but you'll still get to see your movie in the theater.
It may not be AMC. It might be Netflix's own theaters or some shit like that. But I'm just using that as an example. But it's like it's not gonna. Those buildings aren't just gonna disappear.
Right. And I think it's crazy now for Warner Brothers to stick with that plan, because what they're basically saying is we are now going to give up the entire box office for 2021 to Disney and Marvel. You get all of it. We're not going to take any of it.
But I don't think they're going to do it now because they supposedly did. You might have heard it too. They did it on their own. And by that, they didn't talk to any of the production partners. So like Legendary was pissed and all these other places are like.
AT&T did it.
Yeah, they're like, everybody's like, yo, you fuck. Because what it is you fucking with our returns now. The money we put in this movie, you fucking with us getting our money back in a profit.
I hope they sue them and I hope they win. I just don't see a world where this Warner Brothers decision lasts very long, because like they're gonna yes, it is coming out in HBO Max and theaters, so there is going to be some box office. I was up until recently planning on seeing, because our theaters are still looking open. I was going to go see Wonder Woman. I still might. I still might. I still might see it in the theater. I don't know on that. But like it's going to be there. But if you could also see it on HBO Max, there's tons of people that are going to be like, well, I'm just going to go see it there because I can pay one price and see it with my whole family as many times as we want to. I just mathematically, it blows my mind like how anybody would ever think that that was a good idea, unless your whole point, and this is what makes me think it's definitely an AT&T thing, even more so than Warner Brothers. The whole point is we don't give a shit about your movies and your art and your theater experience. We need content for our fucking streaming service.
Oh,
so
that's
saddle in, boys. We're going. This is what we're gonna take. We're gonna take this one. We're gonna lose so much money, but we're gonna have all this content. And then it's like, that feels kind of gross to me.
Well, no, I think, and you know what, you probably are on the money, right? Because again, you said the magic word. We don't give magic words. We don't give a fuck about your art. This ain't about art for us. This is about the we need content, because remember
that money, baby.
Because the pandemic shut down a lot of shit. So it's like we got all this shit that if we don't put it out, we are running the risk of being irrelevant for a minute. Like we need to have some. That's why you got all the game shows that came back with no audiences that they hurry up and did. Because again, Weakest Link, Supermarket Sweep, all those things, they just did them because they were like, we need the content. Right. And so yeah, AT&T is like, look, at the end of the day, you got to buy. If you want to see this movie, you either going to pay for it one or two ways. You're going to pay in the theater. You're going to pay us by HBO Max. And then people go, well, I can just get somebody's password and account. They're going to shut that shit down quickly.
Yeah.
People act like they can shut that shit down. Netflix did it already.
Or they start charging you more.
Yup, or they start charging you. Okay, you want to give it to 17 people? Fine. Guess what? Your price is for the skyrocket. Well, why is my price shooting up? Because now you think you're going to give our content for free. No. You're going to pay the share of this. But like I said, Netflix started doing that because at first when everybody had Netflix, it was one person with 12 households. And they were like, nah, you can only have that shit on 3 devices. That's it.
Yeah. I think we split. I split a lot of stuff with my brother-in-law, my wife's brother.
Makes sense.
So like I think I got HBO Max, and I'm about to get CBS All Access. I don't know. I think I have Hulu, and he's got like Netflix. No, I have Shudder, and he's got Netflix, and Hulu. It's like, I don't know. It's all mixed up. It didn't even. It's crazy. Right. And we just all like, here's the passwords. Here's the. All right, we all just log in. It's kind of gnarly, but I guess it works.
But that's how it goes. That's legit how it goes. I mean, but now you got everybody think they're gonna try to see. I think people tend to think they're slicker than businesses. They think like, oh, they think they're getting over on us. I'm gonna get over on them. I'm gonna just get like 4 of us to get a password and 20 of us can use it. When all of a sudden they start being like, all right, look, this can only be used to this many households. Now you're going to either try to have to get all these people together in one place, which again, we're still in the midst of a pandemic.
Right. Can't
do it. You know what I'm saying? So now you cut that shit down. Or this is how, if you're smart, depending on what city and state you live in, if you live in an area like Los Angeles before it hits our rainy season or parts of Arizona, you can literally say, all right, bet, I'm going to invest in a projector and an inflatable screen. Now I'm charging the theater experience. I got 20 chairs socially distanced in my backyard with speakers and shit. Now you can watch it.
That sounds like FBI is getting called on you. Like you're breaking that FBI warning that used to come up in the middle of in the front of your VHS tape. Like don't ever sell this or whatever.
Well, I mean, it's like you're fighting people over. I think it's you got to sell
tickets and shit. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you got to. It's the same way some places when I do stand up. Some play like we'll do stand up in shows in places that cannot legally sell alcohol to people. So what they do is people buy the tickets and you use the tickets to get alcohol. So technically you're not selling alcohol. I'm selling tickets.
That's bullshit.
But it's a legit legal.
Hey, if it works.
It's a legit legal loophole. So I'm not paying you. You're not paying me to come see Wonder Woman. You're paying me to come sit in this environment, the socially distanced environment.
Oh, and there just happens to be a big screen with this.
It just so happens I'm playing on a big screen.
Yeah, if you got a good lawyer.
Think about it. Nobody said they're paying me to come see one day, just coming to see me. I'm at my home and I just choose to watch my movies this way. You can't stop me from if I pay to have this movie, I can watch this movie now whatever way I want to watch it, because if I'm hooked to a computer, I hook my laptop to the projector, or however I shoot, if I'm watching on my TV, that's a giant screen. You can't stop me from watching it the way I was watching it, as long as nobody's paying me directly to see this movie, because then I'm pirating the movie. If they're paying me what they're paying, all they just said they wanted to give me something as a gift. Look, it's easy to do it. It's very, because it's so many legal loopholes around those, because that's what I'm saying. People have gotten around those things so many times before. Like, there's no real stopping to it now.
Yeah, I believe it. There's always if you got it. Yeah, it's like you said, you can get out of anything. Well, not anything. Stuff like that. Like, it's kind of like there's a gray area.
But what I'm saying, because I believe it's going to happen. I believe somebody's going to do it. I believe somebody's going to do that exact setup I brought up, but they'll get caught selling tickets to see the movie.
Yeah, that's bad for sure.
Somehow they're going to get caught selling tickets to see the film. Then that's when all the issues going to come up, because that's when it's going to be like, well, now because it's going to bring a big ass lawsuit out. Because I promise you, let some shit like that go down. AT&T, it ain't even finna be Warner Media. AT&T finna sue.
Yeah,
and you don't want to be a regular person, an average Joe or Jay getting sued by AT&T.
Okay, we're just gonna settle that one out of court. Let's.
Right. Look, what I got for you, this piece of paper. What's on the paper? $52.73. Like, because what they're gonna want to do is they want to make an example out of you now. Because of that, they want to make an example out of you, and so that it's fucked up as it is. But because the thing, again, like I said, we talk about this theater experience. It goes back to Mulan. Remember when everybody was pissed? They was like, "How's Disney Plus gonna charge $30 for Mulan?" It's like, yo, you a single dude or a single woman. They're not marketing to you. They don't give a. They want you, but it's not for you. It's for families.
Right. Yeah. I still, that was an interesting way to try it. I still just think, though, with all the streaming, I think that especially the HBO Max, like, we're going to see, I think they're going to change their mind. I know people are saying, well, this is a trial run to see if they can get away with it. I really don't think they can. As much as I want people to also keep going to the theater so that they actually don't go away. But I still think if everybody's got HBO Max, they're probably just going to watch the shit at home. But I think they're going to lose enough money. I don't see how they'll be able to keep it up. I think 2021 is going to be like a good advertisement for them, I guess. Yeah. But I'm thinking once theaters think like vaccines, like later 2021, when things are whatever the new normal is going to be, kind of getting into that, and people are going back to theaters, and Disney's making billions of dollars on their whatever the first fucking Marvel movie that comes out in theaters is going to be.
Black Widow.
Yeah, you know how nobody wants to see that movie? $1 billion. I'm calling it right now. Like,
I know. Look, I was the first person. I ain't gonna lie to you. When they said they were doing a Black Widow movie, I was the main one on every network and every place. So anybody would listen. I was like, "Yo, this movie is 10 years too late." I said nobody wanted a Black Widow. It's 10 years too late. And
I
then
didn't want a Black Widow movie 10 years ago, but like,
it was even like, do I really want it then? Right? It was one of those. But
she's cool, but like she doesn't need whatever.
But then we started seeing the trailers, started hearing the story, and everybody was like, "Wait a goddamn minute, hold on." And now we didn't get a movie for the first time in 9 years, an MCU movie in theaters for the first time in 9 years. If you don't think that movie, that when it comes back is finna kill $1 billion, Some, unlike Christopher Nolan with Tenet. See, Christopher Nolan was so stupid. He was like, yeah, I promise you, everybody's gonna run to the theater to see Tenet. If you just open it and put it in theaters, bro, nobody knew what the fuck the movie was about.
That was the problem. That was the problem. So, like, if that's why I was so like, why can you just wait or do the same thing with Wonder Woman? Like, they should have. That would have been a much better test because they're gonna see that movie's not gonna make $1 billion.
You know how much he made? You know how much he made worldwide in the box office for Tenet?
Was it? I actually don't know. Not
360.
Yeah,
wide.
I liked it, but I totally understand why people then
the average person
didn't
was
rush
like,
back to the theater to go see it.
I know so many people who were like, I saw Tenet, and I still don't know what the fuck I watched. I know a bunch of people like that. They're like, I have no idea what I just watched. And because people heard that from people, other people were like, I'm not going to see this shit. Like, it was confusing. If somebody tells you a movie is confusing, and it's somebody you trust more than likely, you're not going to go see it. Now, well, the average, I'm using you as
I'm a weird example, but yeah, the average person probably is like, all right, yeah, I don't want to spend my money on that.
But I'm saying the average person is like, it's what? I'm okay. Like, they're like, right. I'll wait till it comes out on demand or something like that. Right. Then I'll see it. They're not gonna run to they're not gonna run to a theater to see it. They'll wait to see it. I can wait to see it for free instead of running and spending money about some shit that's supposedly confusing. I'm good. That's what happened with Tenet. But again, also, it was in the middle of this shit. It wasn't even towards the end. It was at the middle of all this shit.
Yeah, they pushed it until it got like, they pushed it till it was real bad. And they're like, oh, well, fuck it. Let's just go now.
Like, it's the summer. We should be okay. And everybody was like, bro, this is one of those things people was like, this ain't the move, man. You might not want to do this. No, it's got to be out. It's got to be out. Hey, man. That's why when he tried to give his thoughts on all this shit, it was like, yo, you're just mad. Look, I understand you're upset about the whole deal. I get it. But you mad your shit bomb. Let's be real, bro. Like, it ain't really about this. Oh, what about people who went to sleep thinking they working for the greatest company? Look, bro, that's not about you right now. You're mad your shit bombed. You mad.
Like, was it even a bomb? Like, technically, like, that seemed like a 3. If it made like that much worldwide, I mean, I suppose like whatever marketing was probably they spent a lot on marketing. But
the Matrix for it has to make 2.5 times its budget. I'm finna find the budget. I think the budget for Tenet was ridiculous.
It's probably it probably was.
The budget was $205 million.
Yeah, that
360.
That didn't do very well.
That ain't good at all. Cause like you barely cleared the budget you made, but then you need to make all this extra money because you got to pay people on the back end. Producers get back end points, depending on like maybe John David Washington has this in his contract, and Robert Pattinson have it in their contract where they get some back end points because they're big enough stars now. And so like this ain't Warner Brothers sitting around here. How much extra money did we make? $7,400. What? $7,400.
Shit.
Because that's what it seemed like, but it is. You're right. It is going to tell next year, but I think Disney is smart. Because everybody was like, well, what about sending Black Widow to streaming? I was like, they learned from they watched what HBO Max did. I think the last thing Disney is going to do is tell you if a movie's going to Disney Plus, they told you it's going to Disney Plus.
Yeah, especially now with they got the vaccine. That was crazy to me how like right at the same time they made that announcement. Like they were making the announcement about a vaccine. I'm like, I can't remember which came first. They were very close together. And I'm like, that's wild to me. Like nobody's going to do that now. Like, because 6 months from now, people are going to start, everybody's going to be getting vaccinated and shit and like wanting to go back and do stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I think Warner Brothers is going to be an interesting experiment for people. I think it's really fucked up the way they did it. Like they deserve to get sued and lose all the money as far as because like if that was me, are you fucking kidding me? Like
I want to see the financial hit they take in 2021. Because the financial hit they about to take off this shit is going to be shit of legends.
I don't want to hear about them firing people next year because of this. Except for maybe the people like I mean the way that like they're laying off like all these people to make ends meet.
Yeah.
They want to fire some executives. You go right ahead, but like
that
would suck if they're like, oh man, our Warner Brothers Studios is like sucks now. We got to lay all these people off. Like, just put your fucking movies back in the theater. It'll be fine.
This pandemic again, everybody. It was so crazy because again, that's been everybody's biggest thing about theaters. It's like for a lot of people, I understand the summertime is you have these blockbuster movies you got to go see. It's just something about being in the summer and going to see shit in the movies. Just for mainly for different people, whether it's silly files or not. I get that. But then you add in a global pandemic, and then you already have half the population of the country who have a feeling about the vaccine that they may not take it. So now you still got a group of people that's probably like, I'm not going to no theater because why? I ain't got no vaccine, but it's available. I don't give a fuck. I'm not taking the vaccine. So now you like, well, there go half a budget again. So now you got to hope that China don't have its 8th wave of COVID because they just nailed number 4 right now. Like if anybody should be terrified, I think America should look, we barely are in our second wave and our second wave is terrible. This is true.
We're only in our second wave because our first wave is still going.
This is true. We're technically still in our. This is true. We're technically still in our first wave. I'll be real, because somebody said that on the news. Like, we're in the second wave. I was like, are we really though?
I was like, yeah. When did the first one stop? Like
are we though? Because like nobody ever really again, states that just didn't give a fuck opened, but people for the majority part was like, yeah, I don't think we out of the first.
Yeah,
it's and China on their 4th. I was like. But then again, when you realize the amount of people in China, it's feasible. It can be that many waves because again, they didn't have a vaccine and that. But New Zealand is like, stay the fuck away from us. Do not come here.
They actually just started talking to Australia. I didn't actually click on it, but I saw on Reddit earlier something going on. But yeah, like they whatever they did clearly worked, and whatever we should have done that.
Because people understood. People have this thing over there called common sense, and that little thing goes a long way.
I would love to live in a place with lots of that.
The government took care of the people because they were like, you got to stay home. So the government made sure. Ain't it that the government actually takes care of its people?
That's not what the government's for.
That's weird. The government took care of their people. And while they took care of people managed to stay the fuck at home and do what they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they managed to get all those cases to drop down to the point where it's like, all right, so I think we're pretty much at 0. Oh, you mean, by the time we're at 0, now the vaccine is at 97% effective? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a party in New Zealand for only New Zealand.
You can't come here. Stay the fuck out. We build a wall.
Stay the fuck out. Like, yo, I know we're an island. We're building a wall around the island. You motherfuckers can't come in. We're putting a top on the island. You can't even fly into the island.
It's a big dome. We gotta have a password to get in.
You gotta have a password to get into the dome. And no, we don't. If you're coming from America, I don't give a fuck how clean. That's the fucked up part now about being from America. You can be negative as shit, never had COVID, taking care of yourself because you are American. You can't go nowhere.
For now, not too much longer, probably. But
I mean,
yeah, I
got my passport, like I said on Blurs last week. What I wanted to be able to do, because one of the things I couldn't do when they were doing all the press days, because I was going to the set of Black Lightning. If I had my passport ahead of time, I could have gone like last year. I could have gone to Vancouver and gone on the sets of the CW of the shows up there. Now I have it, but ain't nobody. You go to Canada now, you ain't doing shit for the first day. You locked down for 14 days.
Yeah,
they're not playing with you.
Canada, it's because all those fucking idiots kept going up there and thinking because they're Americans, the rules didn't apply to them. They're breaking quarantine. Do you remember that? Like earlier in the year, like when like I kept seeing. I guess I'm on Reddit too much, man. But I kept seeing people talking about like just groups of Americans like who lived in like a state that was locked down or whatever, like up north, just going up to Canada like early days, just so they would have something to do, and like totally ignoring like all of their policies too. So like getting kicked out and shit. So like yeah, fuck Americans. Like these entitled pricks just coming up here and like bringing their COVID and going out in town.
Out of a country, and they more than likely, especially after this situation, yo, you're not allowed back. Like, can you imagine being told you're not allowed in Canada? Why? Because
you're gonna get kicked out and blocked from Canada. That's Canada, bro.
I'm blocked from the nicest country in the world because I was.
They apologized to me when they were banned.
When they were kicking me. They told me they were sorry for kicking me out, but I still had to go. Like, what? Like, it makes no sense when you hear, but people are stupid. Again, thing like you said, self-entitled and thinking that the rules don't apply to them.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that because, oh, I'm American, I can go up here. Like, first of all, yeah, you're American, that's fine. But you're in a whole nother, you're not in another state, you're in another country. Their rules trump anything you think off jump.
Yeah. And can I say that I hate that word is ruined forever now.
Trump? Oh yeah. Yeah,
like we're gonna have to come up with another word for that.
Oh, I'm waiting till they change the dictionary meaning of it. I'm waiting to Merriam-Webster. If they don't change it this year, next year, you know it's about to happen. They don't change the meaning of Trump. To act like the 46th, 5th president of the United. That's gonna be you out here trumping and shit. Like, just be used as a verb and just.
Oh God, I bet. I don't know. I don't even think he would give a shit.
Because he would praise it.
He wouldn't understand it. Like he wouldn't understand we were making fun of him.
He wouldn't. He'd be like, "Well, they put me in the dictionary because I was that good. I was a person that they felt they had to describe, use a word to describe me." But also the question is, will he be able to read yes, he will. He'll be able to read the dictionary in prison. So, because again, but also one of my buddies had to remind me about something. He said, yo, you do realize he's not going to go to regular jail, even if he does. I was like, this is true. Like, he won't go because he has to be. There is a level of protection he has to have because he's a former president.
Yeah.
Which, like the idea of him going to Gin Pop and getting fucked real quick.
Does it matter, though? Like, obviously, like the taxes and stuff, whatever.
He can go to federal prison.
But I mean, if he like actually like if in the years to come, like it actually comes out that he like fully committed treason, like actually,
then he'll lose.
So, like,
it depends on what he's charged for. But like, I don't know if you saw the tweet he did because somebody showed me too.
That motherfucker.
You ain't got to follow him. I refuse to fucking follow him.
I do see a lot of it, but I haven't been on there in a minute.
Somebody said. One of his stupid ass followers was like, yo, the president should declassify everything. He was like, that's what I'm doing right now. I was like, here's the fucked up part. He can because he is still the president. So he legally can declassify whatever he wants. But also, this motherfucker is like, since I'm going down, it's a fire sale. Everything for America's up for grabs. You need a permit.
Let's go.
You want to buy a whole bunch of forest? Huh? You got somebody to rake the trees?
Oh yeah,
I got a forest for sale. Like he is literally selling America, and you can't do it. You could. I'm not gonna say you can't do anything about it because that would require Congress to actually act. But
right, man, y'all, if y'all live in Georgia, please go fucking vote, please.
Oh, I think here's the problem, and I'm not gonna say problem in a bad way. I think they are, but I think his supporters are not gonna vote. I really, in my heart,
they don't.
I know, but I'm saying I hope too. But I believe in my heart they not even because he's convinced them that the election is rigged. So they like, what's
They're
the
not
point?
even gonna bother?
They're not going to even
How
bother.
beautiful would that be that he loses the Senate for them on the way
on the way out. Like, that's why they say they've been trying to tell him, Mr. President, can you stop doing this shit? Like, they were like, yo, can you stop with, because he coming at the head of the governor who's a Republican, the Secretary of State in Georgia, who were all on his fucking side. They were like, no. They were like, they told him, they were like, we on your side, but we can't. This is democracy. People voted, plain and simple. And they're like, we're not finna screw American democracy just to make you happy. But because they didn't do that, he has literally been damn near telling his people, don't vote. And because his supporters are so fucking stupid, they are not going to.
Well, I mean, if they don't, and we flip those Senate seats, and we get the majority, then shit.
The majority or Mitch McConnell. Like, I don't think Mitch McConnell's allowed to die yet. I think Satan has some plan where he doesn't let him die, because that is. Ugh.
I don't know. That dude, he's like a cartoon character. He's like a cartoon character. Yeah. How are you that evil? I can't even speak to it.
It's mind-boggling, the level of evil he is. It is mind-boggling.
I think he's been around for so long, he just truly doesn't give a shit. I think he knows he's on his way out, and he's just gonna be as evil as possible until he's done.
And the crazy part is the people of Kentucky steadily support, like, Kentucky's the 8th poorest state in the country. But Mitch McConnell's worth like $40 million.
Yeah, I don't I got nothing for that. I don't understand it. I got the feeling that we're probably going to vote our governor out, at least. I mean, we went blue. We flipped the Senate seat this year. Yeah, like.
Oh, and I think they're gonna recall. I think they're gonna recall. They're gonna vote to recall the governor here because he keeps playing both sides of the coin. Like, he'll be like, "Oh, you can't do this. I need my state to do this," and they be like, "Hey, motherfucker, you just had a party. What are you talking about?" Or, "I need these businesses to shut down." Motherfucker, your kids go to private school, is still open. What are you doing? Like, I think they're gonna vote the governor. The worst thing that can happen is that, and the mayor of LA, who runs LA County, is going into Biden's administration. As they trying to stop, they protesting for him not to go as the Department of Transportation. But he finna leave LA, and he finna fuck around and go into Biden's administration. I was like,
yeah. Well,
listen, man, we can continue this as always next month if we still doing these and we have a great conversation. And you'll be with Blur. You'll be checking out Blurs, and we keeping this shit going on our crazy ass show as well. Tell the people how they can get in touch with you if they want to talk to you.
I'm around. You can find me on Twitter. I'm not really a person. I'm just an internet guy. I'm AZ Badfish MC. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not doing nothing.
Y'all already know I'm just here. I'm Twitter and Instagram just here. Mr. J Washington. Y'all already know if you want to join the Patreon, Mr. J Washington as well at that patreon.com. Holla at y'all next time for another one of these. Take care, y'all. We out. Bye.